Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of College Sucks. I'm your host, David Samantha Davidson, a student affairs professional who has been in college most of my life. And this week, I'm talking about something that I know every single college student can relate to: the stress of the mid-semester. Oh my gosh. I know how it feels. It's deadlines, it's tests, it's responsibility, it's everything, and they are all due at one time. Listen, not just because I'm not attending college, I've been there 3 times and I know all about this stress. But have no fear, I'm here to help you with some tips that can definitely help you to survive this crazy season. College Sucks episode 21, Surviving the Mid-Semester Madness. Stay tuned. Mid-semester is that weird, exhausting stretch where you feel like you're drowning in assignments, group projects, and exams, all while trying to keep a life up outside of school. You have a life. You have to keep living it. But don't worry. I've got you. I'm going to tell you what to do to manage this chaos so you do not lose your mind. All right. So why is the mid-semester so brutal? I don't know. I just think it's the time of the year that it falls. It's in the middle. A lot of things are due. A lot of courses have 2 internal assessments and 1 external assessment, or 3 if you're lucky. Although I feel like coursework oftentimes are harder than exams, but don't at me with that one. That's just my personal view. I take tests well, and I have no problems with them, but a lot of people prefer to have coursework. Nonetheless, everything is due at the same time. So when you started out this semester, you were feeling fresh, organized, motivated, and somewhere along the line that just fell. It dropped all the way to the ground. And now you are back into the panic. If you are a second year student, this feels oh so familiar. And for a first year student, you're like, what is this? You've never experienced this before. So you're behind on material that you need to read in preparation for exams or coursework pieces. You find yourself sleeping less and you're surviving on so much caffeine. So Arizona, Red Bull, coffee, even caffeine tablets. Some of you, I know that you're downing them right now just to keep up. And the only thing keeping you alive really is probably the embarrassment of dropping out, or just vibes, like you're just going with the flow. But it is the hardest stretch, but you're going to manage. Now, why is the semester feeling so overwhelming for you? Well, let's list it out, because I often find that once you name your problems, it's a little bit easier to deal with them. Well, that's for me personally. For you, it might feel like, please stop saying all the things that hurt. But trust me, I am going to come to the point where I'm going to tell you what to do to manage all of these things. But let's go. Why does the mid-semester feel so overwhelming? Well, first and foremost, all these assignments, it feels like an avalanche. Why are all of them rolling down the mountain at the same time? Everything is due. And you're not even done with the syllabus. You're not even halfway. You know, all those classes that your lecturer said, oh, I can't make it today, and you were happy and you went home. Are you feeling happy now? When you look at the course outline and you know you have an exam and you're still at unit 2, are you feeling happy? No, you're not, because there are 2 more units to go. And each unit is asking for 12 weeks. You don't have 12 weeks left in the semester. What are they talking about? So you're starting to feel the panic. And then on top of that, the due dates for the assignment. Why are they saying like the 24th, the 25th, the 26th, and 3 on the 27th? Huh? Who did this? Who put this plan together to make your life a living hell? As if that wasn't enough and you're not already typing off your fingertips and reading more things in EBSCO than you've ever read in your whole life, here comes the midterm exams. And did the lecturers get together and say, when you're giving your test, yeah, I'll give mine on the same day. Yeah. That will really make sure that they cry all day. It's giving that. It definitely is giving. And so everything is due, and you have a test to study for, and nobody is taking any checks. Okay. They just want their work because they want to start putting in grades so that as soon as exams are over, they can depart. Okay. Everybody wants their work and they want it right now. Also, you're feeling the pain of the semester, right? The burnout is real. So you've been grinding for weeks and your energy is starting to dip. And these drinks are not hitting like they used to. It used to be like half a Red Bull. Now you're up to 2 cans. And by the way, I don't encourage this. Like, I'm not big on caffeinated drinks. I do like my little morning coffee, but it's not the best thing for you. But of course, you're starting to feel burnout and you are completely over this. You want the semester to end because you don't feel like you even have the energy. And let's pair that on with the fact that your life isn't only in college. Some of you are married. Some of you have relationships that are new and you're nurturing them. Some of you have children, aging parents, or siblings that you assist with. So when you pile that on, with all the demands of school, and plus you want to be involved in your co-curricular things, you want to sing on the choir, you want to dance in the dance group, you want to be a part of the production, you are an athlete, you have track meets, you want to play sports for your house because it's sports season now as well, and there's just so much going on. Like, what is happening? Send help. It's too much. And I know that it's really hard for you. So I thought this episode for sure is in the right time. It's right when you're starting to feel the stress. And let's see how we can manage this. All right. I just want to let you know that you are not alone in this feeling of overwhelm. All right. If you ask your friends in the other colleges, if you check anyone at the universities around the world right now, if they started on the same semester system as you, they are feeling the burn, they are feeling the stress, they are feeling the pain. It hurts. And it just feels like everything is due one time. A lot is going on in my life and you're not sure if you're going to make it out alive. But just know you can survive this, okay? And here are the tips, practical tips now, not no wishing on a star, that's going to help you to make it through. So let's get into the strategies for the mid-semester push. And I've told you some of these already around December when we were looking at exams, but I want to just help you to structure it out again in preparation, because if you can manage this mid-semester, I just feel like the end of the semester is going to be a little bit easier for you. Not easy, a little bit easier, okay? All right, so the first thing, you have to get organized. I cannot stress this enough. And even if you feel like it's too late, it is not, okay? Do a brain dump. That is, list out every deadline, exam, and project you have upcoming. So you need to write on a blank sheet. I'm a firm believer in writing things down because it helps you to commit things to memory. Okay, so you're going to write in order of appearance, like what is next. And then you're going to go back through and you're going to prioritize. So write everything down as you remember them. Just for now, let's not make this too complicated. So what's due, you write it down, you write the date. If you want to be a little bit more efficient, putting it in Excel might actually work because then you can sort the list. So you could do a heading like assignments, and then you put the date, and then you filter them and have Excel sorted for you, and it'll put it in order. Or you could type them in Chat GPT and ask it as a prompt to put these things in order. So you're going to put them in order of date first, but please note that order of date first doesn't necessarily mean order of priority, because something could be due further down, but you have to start working on it now or you're going to be in problems. You get what I'm saying? So after you've listed everything down, then you need to put them in a kind of priority list. And again, Excel really helps with this because then you can number them and have it arranged. Like, so the things that are high in priority for you, could label them 1 and then have Excel sort all the ones. So you sort by date, you keep that, and then you sort again by priority. So you can have priority as a column. Okay, I hope this helps. You then need to put in alarms on your phone right away for all of these deadlines. So you need to put in little reminders. So you're going to go in and you're going to look at a reasonable plan. So let's say I'm recording this episode on a Sunday because the girl is trying to get organized, okay? And Tuesday is just way too much pressure for me. So I'm trying out, when I have a weekend, let's record. So let's say today is Sunday and you have a test on Thursday and a paper due on Friday. So you're decent where the test is concerned. Like you understand the content, you have a handle on it. You probably just need to go through a little bit of past papers and kind of map out how you would answer any of those questions if they came. So that's fine. But the paper that is due, that's a priority. So that would be first. So you need to set an alarm as to how much time per day you're going to work on the paper up until it's due. So if you find that you have some free time during the day, you would set an alarm for, let's say, 2:00. Remember, you need to be specific. So your class ends at 2:10, your alarm needs to go off and ask you, are you in the library? Because you need a quiet corner to now start working on your paper. So this is just a little rough guide of how you could possibly do it. I'm not in your shoes. This is just a suggestion. It may or may not work for you, but I find that setting up alarms that don't just ring, but like a message flashes up, it does something to your brain. So it's going to say, look, coursework due, head to library to start to work on it. So that's one of the things. And you can always use your digital planners like Google Calendar or Notion, or a simple to-do list, to write things down. I like to write things down. The sad thing is, though, I write things down a lot in my office and then I leave my office. So sometimes when I'm here on the weekend, I have to drive to my office because I live on the campus to get my to-do list to remember what's to be done. So just listen to how I have not necessarily done well at that and how you can improve it. The next thing is to work smarter, not harder. Students say this all the time, but I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I don't think you understand what that means. I think you think working smarter is doing the least amount of work and just getting by. And that's really not what we mean when we say work smarter. It means taking steps that's going to be more efficient, that's going to make you more productive. Okay, so for example, working smarter means using time block for your study sessions. We spoke about the Pomodoro technique. This is one of my faves, and I encourage everyone to try it out, where you do 25 minutes on of focused work and 5 minutes break. So you can decide going forward that every weekday you're going to dedicate 2 hours to academic work outside of what you have for classes. And trust me, 2 hours, if it is focused work, it is good enough. All right? If you stay really focused on task, limit your distractions, you can knock out a lot in that time. So you need to just try these blocks. Some people are able to focus for 45 minutes. I don't know who these people are. I don't know any of them personally. Well, not true. I know a couple. I don't know how they do it though. But for me, I know 25 minutes works because I'm easily distracted and I will move on to something else and not complete the task. So try using the Pomodoro technique. If you don't know what that is, I have a whole episode on it. So just go listen to it and figure that out. The next thing is to use the 2-minute rule. So if something takes less than 2 minutes, like replying to an email, submitting an assignment if it's online, or dropping it off by the office, or going to get it printed, you need to do it. I give you a really good example. We have a lot of forms that we send out to students, right? And a lot of times they have like 2 or 3 questions. So by the time you open the form, and if you're doing it on your phone has kind of a prompt. So almost every time I'm filling out a form, there is, like, it says your name and your number, and your phone can actually put in the information for you. I mean, it's smart. And I was sitting in a class recently, and we were talking about our VAL service, and students had to indicate that they were planning to attend. And someone was saying that they did it like 2 days ago or whatever. I sent that form out probably a month ago. And I thought I had locked it, which would have locked them out. But I'm saying the form takes 2 minutes. So the minute it pops up on your phone, if you are not in a situation where you're not supposed to be using your phone, so you're in front of a lecturer or whatever, just mark the email as unread, finish what you're doing, go back and just fill out the form. It's 2 minutes. And when you do that, you don't have to clog up your brain or have to try to remember it or miss the deadline. Anything that takes 2 minutes or less, you're going to do it right away. The next thing that you need to do in the Working Smarter, Not Harder package is to batch similar tasks. So if you have correspondence that you need to respond to, let's say you have a bunch of forms that you ignored, but you need to fill them out, fill out forms all together at once at the same time. Okay, you're just batching the tasks that are common. That way your brain stays in flow. All right, so I know I'm talking about the mid-semester madness and how much stress you're under. So this next tip, I'm laughing because I know if you're listening, you're going to be like, excuse me? You need to take care of yourself. Seriously. You can't afford to skip this part. You'll be like, take care of myself? Are you sending me to the hairdresser and the nail shop? Are you telling me to sleep? I may not be sending you to the nail shop. I'm definitely sending you to the hairdresser. That can be very soothing. But I'm telling you that you need to take care of yourself. That's the only way you're going to make it through. Okay? I have seen students just decide that they're just going to rough it out, tough it out, and then they're in their exams and they pass out. Their blood pressure is too high or too low because they have not been taking care of themselves. And so it's very important that you work out a schedule that allows for you to sleep. Okay? I say it all the time. Sleep is non-negotiable. All-nighters make you less productive in the long run. You are just going to crash. You are just going to make mistakes. Your body needs a break and you need to allow time for it. The next thing is that you need to eat real food. You're eating too many fried foods, and there are enough studies around to tell you that this is not the way. And I know you can't do better, you don't have the time, you can't bother with the kitchen, all of that and all of that and all of that. But if it's even twice a week, commit to eating something that you've made that is nourishing to your body. Consume some fruits, a banana, an apple, an orange. Definitely the orange because flu still very much keeping. All of those things. You need to ensure that you're eating real food, not energy drinks, not chips, not fried, not sweet. None of those things. They do not fuel your brain. They actually affect your memory. So you have to ensure that you're eating properly. And here's the next one. You need to move your body. If you're a student athlete, you already have this one covered. But I mean, move your body for fun. So if you're on a scholarship for track right now, you're training really hard. It's track season. So you are moving your body. But have you danced? Have you just stretched for the fun of it? Have you just gone for a casual walk where you just You're not thinking about running. You're not thinking about throwing. You're not thinking about football. You're not thinking about any of those things. Every person needs to move their body. And even grounding. Now, this is a technique where you take your shoes off and you step on dirt or grass. For me, I do a lot of grounding in my office. Like when I feel overwhelmed, I slip my feet out of my shoes and I put them on the ground. There's just something about the cool nature of the floor that calms me down. And I find that that's a little way for me to nourish myself and take care of my mental health while I'm dealing with something. So I definitely will say to you, you have to take care of yourself. And even a 10-minute walk can help with that. The next point, and possibly the most important, is to ask for help before it's too late. You need to talk to your lecturers now. They might be able to give you extensions or advice if you're struggling, because bear in mind, they've done this already. Okay, as awful as you think they might be, because sometimes they're saying, listen, this is this, and they're not giving you any leeway. I'm sure if you approach them with the right amount of nunchi, you might be able to extend some deadlines. You might be able to ask for some more support if you're not understanding the content or a topic. You may be able to discuss it with them. So go to them now before it is way too late, and just let them know that, hey, I'm struggling. What kind of support can I get? You also need to use the resources that are available to you. There are tons of students in the year above you. There are persons who would be more than happy to tutor you if they're asked. Like, shooters shoot. Ask somebody who is in your class, even who seems to be managing the material for whatever reason. See if they can lend some support to you. You may also need some counseling at this point. You might need to speak to a student affairs professional. Like I said, almost everybody that works in a college, they've done this before. They have been there. There's truly nothing new under the sun. And even though you are having your own personal experience, no one is going home with you. They don't know what you're going through. They might still be able to offer some insights and some ideas as to how you might be able to manage. And of course, your friends. Now, some of you don't have friends, so yeah, I don't know what you're going to do. Friends help you through hard times, and especially if they're in college with you, they can relate, they get it, they understand. And sometimes you just need to vent. Like, a problem shared is a problem halved. And sometimes when you are overwhelmed, your vision is blurry, and friends can help you to see things a little bit differently because, they're there to support you and to back you up. So always lean on your friends. They serve a purpose in your life, and it's very important to have friends in college. I cannot stress that enough. I'm very pro friends. All right, so the next thing that will definitely help you to get through this mid-semester madness is changing your mindset. I had a whole episode on that last week, so go back and listen if you need a refresher. But you have to, the way you look at things determines how you feel. Okay. If you look at it like, hey, it's hard, but I can do hard things. It's just this final push, and then it will just be exams and I'll be able to get through. Or I'm getting a break soon where I won't have to be going to classes because we're going to Easter break like 3 weeks from now. Just the way you look at things can really help how you feel in your body, how your brain feels, and how you're able to deal with it. So you need to think of it like this. College is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So you don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep moving. A few things to remind yourself during the semester, and especially at the mid-semester where things are getting a little bit hairy, is it's progress now over perfection. So you are not going to have the perfect essay. It may not be the perfect presentation. It's just doing it to the best of your ability and getting it done. You can't fix that essay that you haven't written. You have to write it first and then you fix it. It's better to write it and fix it than to wait for it to feel perfect. Then you don't have it any at all and you have nothing to fix. Okay? So it's progress over perfection always. The next thing, one task at a time. Start doing multiples. I've told you, studies have shown that attempting to multitask actually causes long-term damage to your brain. So you need to practice the power of focus. Another podcast episode. I seem to be advertising a lot. I'm so sorry. But it's true. You need to take it one task at a time. If you keep focusing on the big gulp of work that you have to do, it's going to paralyze you and you're going to be unable to even do one. So you need to take it in bite sizes. It's one step at a time. Overthinking the whole workload makes it worse. So I know this is cliche, but just start, okay? And also you need to remember that this stress is temporary. Mid-semester madness won't last forever. It cannot. It's called mid-semester for a reason. Very soon you'll be in another semester and have a whole another set of things to worry about. So just know this is a tense, tight period, but it has an end date. So don't worry about it. And if all else fails, just take a deep breath. Okay, inhale, exhale slowly. Practice a couple rounds of that. And just try to power through. One step at a time, one foot in front of the other. You got this. All right, that's it for today's episode. If you're in the middle of the mid-semester push, just know you are not alone. You made it this far and you're going to get through it. I promise you. I've survived a million mid-semesters. I may have some battle wounds and still feel some trauma every time I think about it, but I have survived. Now, if you found this episode helpful, please don't gatekeep me. Share it with your friends who you know are also struggling right now. And if you have your own mid-semester survival hacks, so if you're a third or final year student, you've been there, you've done that, share them in the comments because people might be lingering there to find out. So please follow me on all my social media, College Sucks JA on Instagram and on TikTok, and just keep listening, all right? Take care, keep pushing, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Thanks for listening. Bye.